Hello everyone, welcome to Andy Visits. Harry Potter franchise is a global phenomenon like few others. It's been 13 years since the last book was released, 9 years since the last movie hit theaters. But Harry Potter doesn't begin and end with books. As with anything that's popular nowadays, Hollywood came calling rather quickly, and the first Harry Potter film was released a little over a year after J.K. Rowling's fourth book hit the shelves. So here we are discussing Harry Potter movies ranked from worst to best. Number 8. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. At 161 minutes, Chamber of Secrets is the longest film of the franchise, and perhaps not so coincidentally, it's also the last film to try and fit everything from the book into the movie. Although it's certainly too long and meanders in places, there is still much like about Chamber of Secrets. Columbus nails the realization of Dobby, towing the fine line between mischievously funny and irritating to deliver a visually impressive and genuinely adorable CG character. While Chamber of Secrets is enjoyable enough, it doesn't quite live up to the brilliance of the rest of the franchises. Number 7. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. It's tough to judge a film that is self-admittedly half a story, but since it's presented as a separate entry into the Harry Potter series, Deathly Hallows Part 1 must be evaluated as such. While Deathly Hallows Part 1 is mighty compelling for the first hour or so, it definitely loses steam in its second half. This is due in part to the fact that Harry, Ron and Hermione are on a directionless hunt, disappearing from one gorgeous locale to the next as they bicker amongst themselves. This character conflict is necessary to set up the emotional payoff of Deathly Hallows Part 2, but the act of watching a film that is almost all set up gets a bit monotonous. Number 6. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. It was with Goblet of Fire that J.K. Rowling's novels took their big first step towards adulthood, expanding not only in size but also in scope. Goblet of Fire is arguably Rowling's best Potter novel in the entire series, but here is where things get conflated. Just because it's the best book doesn't mean it's the best movie. We saw this film before we had read the books and strongly disliked it, but before reading the series came to love it. Those familiar with the books are able to flesh out parts of the film that fall short, and such in case with Goblet of Fire.
Mr. Weasley.
Number 5. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. While it may not be as flashy, refined or impressive as the rest of the films in the franchise, Sorcerer's Stone deserves immense credit for setting up this series so wonderfully and laying a fantastic foundation of which the other films could be built. Even though it's tonally the lightest film of the bunch, Sorcerer's Stone still works wonderfully as a fantastic entry in the Potter franchise.
You couldn't explain.
Number 4. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. It would mark the final director change for the series. David Yates makes his debut with this politically tinged Order of the Phoenix. The film also happens to be the only Harry Potter movie not written by Steve Kloves. It's clear from the onset that Order of the Phoenix is going to be rather a different film, as Yates opts to open the movie in the heat of summer in a new location with a layered confrontation between Harry and Dudley. The subsequent introduction of Order's once not severely lacking in information about what's really going on, and the return of Sirius Black bolsters the film's emotional impact and deepens Harry's arc, while the film also gives us some of the franchise's best Harry Snape scenes.
The appointment of Dolores J.
Number 3. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. The story beautifully builds to Dumbledore's death and Snape's betrayal without the climax feeling like a shocking shift in tone, and Yates and screenwriter Steve Kloves weave in Voldemort's backstory and the introduction of the Horcruxes with ease. in this marvelous tonal balance that makes Half-Blood Prince one of the most affecting films of the series, swinging from laughter to tears at the drop of a hat. And we haven't even gotten the film's technical achievements yet. 2. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Deathly Hallows Part 1 was nearly all set up, but Deathly Hallows Part 2 hits the ground running from the first frame and never lets up. This is a movie that is payoff in every sense: emotional payoff, action payoff, relationship payoff. Part 2 is almost operatic in nature as it builds to a grand finale at the place where it all started, Hogwarts. Not only are the set pieces exhilarating, but they are anchored by the characters we have grown to love over the course of 7 films. Number 1. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. The importance of the Prisoner of Azkaban to the Harry Potter film series cannot be overstated. This is the movie that established the creative direction and formula for the films followed, and the series faced a crucial issue post-Chamber of Secrets. Azkaban is also the film in which Radcliffe, Grint and Watson really come into their own as actors and begin to forge a path that makes these characters their own. The merits of Prisoner of Azkaban are almost unending, and while the Harry Potter franchise would lead to other outstanding entries in subsequent years, Corran's film still marks the creative high point in one of the best, most diverse and most satisfying film franchise of all time.
That felt good.